Rationally, it seems ridiculous that an NBA player could be on the losing team for the league finals but still get a ring or at least be entitled to one. But over the course of an NBA season, numerous players bounce around the league via trades or 10-day contracts. So often, players will represent multiple teams during a single season. With many players just happy to have a job in the NBA, they are typically willing to play for whoever wants them, whether that means moving from one side of the country to the other, which inadvertently results in them going from one side of the country to the opposite. And when a player switches conferences, this opens up the possibility for them to become NBA champions, even if, ultimately, they end up playing for the losing side. This is because, technically, if someone in the NBA has played for a team during the season, then that franchise wins a championship, the individual is, at least theoretically, entitled to receive a ring. In this highly unlikely scenario, a player's contributions don't always get recognized because it's up to the winning franchise if they want to give them a ring or not. And sometimes, teams make harsh business decisions, leaving much-loved players empty-handed when their former team goes on and wins a championship without them, like what happened to Toronto's former players Jonas Valanciunas, DeLon Wright, and CJ Miles when they were traded during the 18-19 season in February 2019 before Toronto went on and won that year's finals 4-2 against the Warriors.
Raptors are the 2019 NBA champions!
Realistically, it's incredibly rare in the NBA for someone to have played for both teams and make that year's finals, thus opening them up to the possibility of becoming champions by default, despite officially being on the roster of the team that lost the series. But this weird unusual scenario has indeed played out in the NBA a number of times.
So I was qualified to get a ring for the Bucks, being that I played with them enough games to win it, but
after being taken with the 30th pick of the 2004 draft by the Magic, Anderson Varejão was traded to the Cavs, where he soon established himself as a fan favorite. All up, Varejão would spend over a decade in Cleveland. So, in a way, it was fitting that he'd play a role in the team's storybook run for the 15-16 season, when they came back from a 3-1 deficit in the finals against the Warriors to become NBA champions for the first time in the franchise's history.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Unfortunately, although Varejão was part of the Cavs' fairy tale season, it didn't play out like he would have liked it to, because, despite starting the season in Cleveland, he finished it with Golden State. Back in October 2014, Varejão had signed a 3-year, $30 million contract extension. But after struggling with injury in the seasons that followed, the Cavs decided to get his contract off their books. So in February 2016, Varejão was traded to the Blazers, though he was waived soon after. Later that same month, Varejão signed with the Warriors. And just a few months later, his current and former teams met in the finals. It was a momentous victory for Cleveland, and not just because it was their first title. Also, the comeback made history, as the Cavs were the first ever team to be down 3-1 to turn it around and win the best-of-7 series. Additionally, the victory broke the city's ostensible curse when it came to sport.
50 years, every sport without a championship.
But after all the years he'd given to the team, Varejão was on the wrong side of history, as he became the first ever NBA player to win a ring, or at least be entitled to one, despite playing for the losing side.
Since he played for both teams and contributed to both of their success, he technically should get a championship ring from the Cavaliers. But according to Cleveland.com, the Cavs, quote, have not contacted Varejão and have no plans to send him a ring unless he expresses interest in obtaining one. And that interest apparently isn't there. Varejão eligible to receive a championship ring from time with Cavs, but told he has no plans to accept after finishing with Warriors.
Varejão later re-signed with the Warriors in July 2016, but ultimately he only ended up playing 14 games before he was waived in February 2017. After the Warriors won the 2017 finals 4-1 against the Cavs, Golden State's players voted to give Varejão a ring, which, this time, he accepted. Prior to the 2012 draft, Dion Waiters made the highly unusual decision not to work out for a single team. Still, after attending Syracuse, representing the Orange Men from between 2010 and 2012, he was selected with the 4th pick of the draft by the Cavs. He'd go on and have a respectable rookie campaign as he established himself as a promising asset to Cleveland, who was still rebuilding after the departure of their franchise player, LeBron James, in July 2010. Despite his talents and potential, though, Waiters' personality proved to be detrimental. And in January 2015, he was traded to the Thunder. Waiters made little impact in Oklahoma, so the Thunder let him walk at the end of his contract following the conclusion of the 15-16 season. In July 2016, Waiters signed with the Heat before re-signing with the team in July the following year. However, ultimately, Waiters' off-court issues overshadowed any positive during his time with the team. Most notably, in November 2016, he suffered a self-inflicted panic attack while flying after consuming THC-infused edibles.
It was reported that Dion Waiters suffered from a severe panic attack that was also linked to an overdose. The Heat believe Waiters was given the gummy by a teammate, but Waiters has been reluctant and has decided not to say who provided it, sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. What was at first thought to be a panic attack was in fact a full-on overdose.
After serving a 10-game suspension over the incident, Waiters again got in trouble with team officials a month later when he called in sick before posting a picture of himself celebrating his birthday on Instagram.
The Heat announced Thursday that they were suspending Waiters for failure to adhere to team policies, violation of team rules, and continued insubordination. He will miss at least 6 games with this latest suspension. Dion Waiters has yet to appear in a game this season. He is currently on year 3 of his 4-year, $52 million contract, but he has lost almost $1.4 million of this year's $12 million salary. He also has lost out on $1.2 million in bonuses.
Finally, in February 2020, Miami decided to move on from Waiters and he was traded to the Grizzlies before being waived soon after. Later, in March that year, Waiters signed with the Lakers. Ultimately, Los Angeles went on to make that year's finals, facing off against the Heat. This meant that, theoretically, Waiters would be entitled to receive a ring, whoever won, assuming that the Heat would be forgiving enough to overlook his troubles in Miami if the team happened to win. In the end, the Lakers won the series 4-2, giving Waiters his first championship ring, which, like his birthday in 2019, he documented on social media.
Middle finger to the haters, but they can't take that away from me. Different.
After a respectable college career at the University of South Carolina Upstate, representing the Spartans from between 2010 and 2014, Torrey Craig went unselected for the 2014 draft. Still, Craig found numerous opportunities in both Australia and the country's National Basketball League and in New Zealand with their competition, the NZNBL. Over the course of 3 years, Craig split his time between the two leagues, during which he was named the NZNBL League MVP in 2015, on his way to becoming a league champion the following season while representing the Wellington Saints. He was also named the 2017 NBL Best Defensive Player while representing the Brisbane Bullets. Finally, in July 2017, Craig returned to the US and signed with the Nuggets. After a solid season with the team, he re-signed with Denver in July the following year before becoming a free agent in November 2020 when he signed with the Bucks. Later, in March 2021, Craig was traded to the Suns. Despite Craig's long journey to the NBA, he finally seemed to have found a home in Phoenix as he became a key role player for the team, especially during the postseason. Ultimately, the Suns came up against the Bucks for the 2021 Finals. In the end, Milwaukee won the series in 6 games.
We did it.
Despite playing for the losing side, Craig was still entitled to a ring because of his time with the Bucks earlier in the season. However, like Varejão, Craig declined to accept one out of principle as he felt he hadn't earned it.
I didn't follow through with it because they beat us in the finals. We lost. They beat us. Hey.
Different.